Right, so welcome again guys sa subject natin for today. Today's lesson will be about engineering economy. So this is again subject Engineer Eric Tamundong, and I'll be your guest lecturer to discuss yung topic natin for today. And as part of our outcomes, so first is to reintroduce to you yung concept ng engineering economy, to revisit yung mga concept na ginagamit and to solve various examples para makita natin yung application ng mga concepts na yon sa engineering problems natin. Okay? So for this session, ito lang yung ginawa kong content na di-discuss natin kasi the time is also limited lang. So kinuha ko na lang yung usually ginagamit or may mga board exam problem. And then I tried to give at least 3 examples for each topic, no? Sana matapos natin within dun sa hour allotted to us. So yung contents natin, first is we will be talking about interest, which composed of simple and compound interest. Then we have annuity, which discusses yung ordinary, deferred, tsaka yung perpetuity natin. And then we have depreciation. So we have 5 methods kapag dating sa depreciation. We have straight line depreciation, sinking fund method, some of the years digit method, declining balance method, tsaka double declining method. Okay, so yes, 5. Okay, so let's start. So let's start dun sa interest muna. So as an introduction, ano natin ang interest? So interest is the amount of money earned by a given capital. So from the borrower's point of view, si interest is yung amount ng money paid nung nangungutang sa kanya on top dun sa inutang sa kanya, no? So I see borrower's viewpoint, so yun yung dinadagdag niyang kabayaran dun sa inutang niya. And from the lender's viewpoint, ito yung income na nakadagdag dun sa pinautang niyang pera. So, pag pinag-uusapan si interest, laging nag-i-increase yung amount nung principal natin. Okay? So, laging pataas. Hindi tayo, kapag interest yung pinag-uusapan, hindi natin scope yung, o dapat yung money na hawak natin will be greater than dun sa start ng period natin. Okay? Then when we talk about interest, we have 2 general types. Yung tatawag natin simple interest and compound interest. So kay simple interest, pinag-usapan natin, ito yung interest earned by the principal na kinukumpute natin at the end of investment period. So nagbabari lang siya directly with time. So kung halimbawa, nakalagay na per annum yung interest, so at the end of how many years, let's say about 5 years, kung ilan lang yung interest niya for each year, multiply lang niya yun sa 5 years. Okay? Then, kay compound interest, kaiba naman niya is yung principal amount natin is mag-earn siya ng interest, and then before starting or at the end of the second cycle, yung magiging interest rate natin will be the principal interest and the interest earned on the previous year. So, ibig sabihin, dinadagdagan natin yung principal value natin. So, like unlike those simple interest, fix lang yung value natin. So, halimbawa, sa 1,000 pesos, may interest siyang 10 piso kada taon. 10 piso lang yung dinadagdag niya kada taon sa loob ng 5 taon. Halimbawa, for the duration of 5 years. Kapag compound interest, once halimbawa nag-earn siya ng 10 pesos on the first year, sa second year, magiging interest mo na is yung percentage dun sa 1,010 pesos. So, kasama na yung interest nung una, tapos yung principal amount mo, tapos yun yung lalagyan mo ng bagong interest. So, mas mas malaki yung paglago ng pera kapag compound interest yung pinag-uusapan natin. Okay? And then, ito lang ilan sa mga key terms na pwede natin ma-encounter when talking about interest. So, yung first one is yung interest, yung principal, which means yung amount ng money na pinahiram o hiniram ng tao, no? Then rate is yung percent of the principal. So, kung ilang percentage nung perang binigay yung kailangan bayaran on a given period, no? Then time is yung duration. O number of days, months, or year. As um, ano naman, naka-emphasize naman nun in red. Then lender, creditor, syempre yung person who invests money or who lends money. And then borrower o debtor, syempre yung nangungutang. Then origin or loan date is kung kailan na-receive ng borrower yung inuutang ng pera. And then repayment date or maturity date is the date on which the money will be completely repaid. No? So kung kailan siya nakatakdang matapos bayaran all in all or hanggang maibalik yung principal amount and yung interest amount na binigay ni owner yung sa lender, dun sa borrower natin. Okay? So let's start with simple interest. So the interest formula shows how interest rate, and time are related and give us a way of finding one of these values if the other three values are given. So kay simple interest, ito ang pwede natin tandaan na pwede natin gamitin itong diagram na to na interest is equals to PRT. So halimbawa, si rate ang hinahanap natin. Halimbawa, si rate ang hinahanap natin. So kung si rate ang hinahanap natin, ang magiging formula natin will be interest over PT. So naka-refer ka lang dito sa circle na to. So halimbawa, si T yung hinahanap mo, edi T is equals to I over PR. Okay? Then kapag si interest, so ito yung hinahanap mo, so multiply ka lang dito. So that will be PRT. So again, yung kino-complete natin dito is interest amount lang. Hindi pa ito yung total o yung maturity value natin. So pag pinag-usapan natin yung maturity value is ang kinukuha natin is yung principal plus yung interest amount o yung I. So mamaya siguro naka-indicate siya or hindi ko na-indicate na pag maturity value o future value pinag-uusapan, that will be principal plus yung interest natin. Okay? So, I guess basic na din naman yung simple interest. So, I suggest ito lang yung kailangan nyo i-memorize for simple interest or not exactly memorize but to understand yung concept ng mismong interest rate yung tinatawag natin. Okay? And then, ang ano lang kay simple interest, meron tayong tinatawag na ordinary and exact simple interest. So, these are the two kinds of simple interest na yung term na to ginagamit yung same formula lang pero different yung time na ginagamit natin. Kapag sinabi natin ordinary, simple interest yung pinag-uusapan, ang counting natin 30 days lang. 30 days meron ng each month. So kahit February, although 28 or 29 lang siya, depende sa year, kung leap year siya, 30 days yung assumption natin sa kanya. Okay? So lahat ng months natin is 30 days. So for a given year, there's total of 360 days or 30 times 12. Kaya naging 360. Then kapag naging exact time naman tayo, so pinag-usapan natin is yung exact duration natin. So kung ano yung nasa calendar natin. So titingnan mo muna is kung leap year ba yung taon na kino-consider mo o hindi. Paano natin malalaman kung leap year siya? Leap year siya kapag siya ay divisible by 4. So if a given year is divisible by 4, siya ay leap year. So pag leap year, alam mo na ang February mo is May 29. No? So may additional 1 day ka sa loob ng isang taon. Kasi sa ordinary year or sa exact ordinary year, 365 days lang tayo. And again, kapag leap year, magiging siyang 366 days. So si 2021 is not divisible by 4. So definitely hindi tayo leap year pag 2021. So yun lang yung difference niya. Ngayon, sa problem, paano natin ma-distinguish kung ordinary time or exact time yung pinag-uusapan? So as a rule or rule of thumb when solving interest problem, kapag walang indicated, laging i-assume mo na ordinary time yung given problem. Okay? So kung halimbawa walang binanggit kung ordinary o exact, laging ordinary yung gagamitin mo. So ang divisor mo for the number of days or number of days per year is 360 days. Okay? So, yan. I think we can now start sa example for simple interest. So, yung first one natin, find the interest on 68,000 for 3 years at 11% simple interest. Again, walang naka-indicate kung simple o kung ordinary or exact siya. So, again, As mentioned, kailangan i-assume lang natin siya as exact, as ordinary siya, no? So, pinapahanap lang naman is yung interest. So, kapag interest lang yan, automatic PRT lang tayo. Okay? So, ang P natin, principal. So, ibig sabihin yung amount na pinapahiram. Yung rate natin is yung interest. So, ito yun, 11%. And then yung time natin, ito. So, ito yung T natin. So, direct substitution. So, we have 68,000 times 0.11. So, convert sa percentage lang percent. As a decimal yung percentage. Then times 3. Okay? So, interest natin is just multiply nyo lang. So that will be 68,000 times 0.11 times 3. So we have 22,440 pesos. Okay? Our interest for the given problem. Okay? So again, yung na-compute natin is interest lang. So kung halimbawa, hinahanap yung magiging total amount niya at the end of, sorry, but ito yung naging, sobra ako ng ano. Ito lang ha. 68,000. Yes, 22,000. Okay, so pag pinapahanap is yung future value niya or yung maturity value, that will be yung principal interest natin plus yung interest rate natin o interest amount. That will be 68,000 plus natin ang interest amount, so 22,440. So that will be 90,440. Okay, so again, don't be confused with interest amount and future amount or maturity value. All right, next. So we have number 2. A man borrowed 10,000 pesos from his friend and agrees to pay at the end of 90 days under 8% simple interest rate. What is the required amount? Okay. So, pinapanap sa atin yung future value ng magiging utang natin. No? What is the required amount at the end of 90 days plus yung interest natin. So, future value yung pinapanap sa atin. So again, future value is equal sa principal plus yung interest rate natin. Okay? And sa interest rate, again, ang formula natin is PRT. Okay? Kaya pwede natin factor out si P, that will be 1 plus RT. Okay? So dito, hindi nakalagay kung yung time natin is yung interest natin, pag sa simple interest, naka-annual yan. Okay? Kailangan i-divide natin or ano yung equivalent percentage ng 8% sa 90 days, no? Kaya yung time natin, kailangan i-divide natin by the total number of days natin in a year. Kasi yung 8% na is per annum siya. So, mangyayari yung 10,000 natin, times natin ng 1, plus yung rate natin na 0.08, then multiply natin ng 90 days, pero kailangan natin divide by ilang araw for ordinary ng isang taon. So we have 360 days. Okay? Para makuha natin yung equivalent na percentage for 90 days lang. Kasi yung 8% is 400 is para siya sa 360. Okay? Kaya ganyan yung formula natin. So yung future value natin will be equal to 10,000 times 1 plus 0.08 times 90 over 360. So that will be future value natin is 10,200. Okay? So this is the required amount at the end of the given period. Okay? Question?
Opo, sir.
Okay. Next. Okay, I think this is the last one for simple interest. Kasi mas notable siguro yung compound interest, no? Compared to simple interest. Okay. So Annie buys a television set from a merchant. Okay. So from a merchant who offers 25,000 at the end of 60 days. Okay. Annie wishes to pay immediately and the merchant offers to compute the required amount on the assumption that money is worth 14% simple interest. What is the required amount? Okay. So, ano yung hinahanap dito? So, Meron gustong bilhin si Annie na television set for 25,000. So ito yung uh, future principal. So kung 25,000 yung amount ng television set, so definitely sa 25,000 will be yung ating future value na kailangan. Okay? So 25,000 at the end of 60 days. Pero ang gusto ni Annie, magbayad agad siya. Kaya nag-offer yung merchant na may 14% interest. Okay? So magkano yung ibabayad ni Annie? Okay? Para ibigay ni merchant sa kanya ng hulugan yung television set na 25%. Okay? So, yung rate natin is 14% and yung time natin is 60 days. And again, yung rate na given sa atin is per year siya. So, kailangan divide natin siya by 360 days. Okay? So, this is 1/6. Okay, so yung formula natin, F is equals to P times 1 plus RT. So, nakuha na to doon sa previous derivation natin. So, hinahanap natin yung present value. Magkano yung magiging um, present amount yan. Okay? Para mabili niya agad yung television. So, we have F over 1 plus RT. So, that will be 25,000 divided by 1 plus 8 natin, 0.14 times 1/6. Okay. So, yung present value natin will be equals to 25,000 over 1 plus 0.14, 1 over 6. Okay. So, kailangan lang niyang bayaran kung magbabayad siya ngayon is 24,429.967. Okay. So, nakamura siya ng almost 600 pesos kung bibili niya ng cash yung mismong television set. Okay? Question dito sa problem nito? Next, punta tayo sa compound interest. So, kay compound interest, punta muna tayo dun sa formula niya, yung compounded amount natin. Okay? So, yung future worth daw or compounded formula, ang gagawin natin formula is P times 1 plus R over M raised to P times M. So, ano si R over M? Si R over M is yung interest natin na tinatawag, no? Nakaganyan yung kanyang representation kasi kapag compounded interest, yung compound interest pinag-uusapan natin, may iba't iba tayong number of compoundings per year. Depende sa binibigay ni lender sa atin, no? So, mamaya i-discuss natin yung mga iba't ibang compounding years, kung ano yung difference nila with each other. Pero yung formula natin will be 1 plus R over M raised to T times M, wherein yung P natin is yung present worth, yung R is yung nominal rate natin, M is number of compounding per year, and T is the number of years of investment. Okay? So, yan. So, may compound interest, para makuha natin si interest earned, ang magiging formula natin is gamit yung first formula. Ito yung future amount na meron na tayong compounded, ibig sabihin may present value, meron tayo ng present value plus yung interest amount. Kailangan i-minus lang natin si principal amount doon para makuha natin yung interest amount niya. Okay? And then, kung gusto natin makuha yung future worth of P, so yun na nga yung kanina na F is equals to P. Iba lang yung notation pero 1 plus I raised to N. So, same lang yan ito. Okay? And then, merong may tinatawag kasi yan na single, yung term na 1 over, okay? So, yung term daw na to, okay, yung 1 plus I raised to N, may tawag sa kanya or pwede siyang i-denote as F of P, I, N, and tinatawag siya as single payment compound amount factor. Okay? So, baka lang kasi lumabas sa boards. Pag halimbawa, pinapahanap, what is the single payment compound amount factor of the problem? Ang pinapertain niyang formula is ito lang po. Okay? Or yung 1 plus R over M raised to TM. Okay? So, ito. Yan. Ito. Anong to? Notation na to. Pero same lang din yan. Okay? And then, para kay present worth, yung present worth natin, pwede natin ito, manipulate yung formula. So, pag si present worth pinapahanap sa atin, we can use F over 1 plus I raised to N. Okay? Wherein yung factor na to, okay? Okay, so, paghiwalayin ko to, no? Gawin ko siyang F times 1 over 1 plus IN, which is the same lang din naman. Na itong factor na to, may tawag din tayo sa kanya. So, minsan ang notation niya is P over F IN. At tinatawag naman siya minsan na single payment present worth factor. Okay? Na kapag yan ulit yung hinahanap sa problem, we will just pertain dito sa particular formula na to. Okay? So, next, yan. Ito yung compounding period na tinutukoy ko kanina kapag pinag-uusapan natin si compound interest. So, we have, ilan to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 possibilities na gamitin, no? Kapag sinabing annually, once a year, 1 ibig sabihin yung equivalent value ng M. Semi-annually, twice a year. Quarterly, 4 times a year. Bi-monthly, ibig sabihin every other month. Kaya 6 lang tayo dito kasi we have 12 months in a year. So every other month, so 6 months tayo. So monthly, 12 times a year. Then semi-monthly, ibig sabihin twice a month. So yun yung difference ng bi-monthly tsaka semi-monthly. Baka tayo malito, no? Pag semi-monthly, twice a month, kaya naging 24. So 2 times per month times 12, kaya 24. Then we have bi-weekly. So ibig sabihin every 2 weeks. Parang bi-monthly din yan. So, every 2 weeks, 36, 26 to. Okay, i-verify ko to kung ano yung M niya, pero 26 yung nakalagay. Okay, which is correct, no? Kasi total weeks ng isang taon is 52. Okay, kaya every other week. Okay, then weekly, once a week, 52 weeks, and then daily, once a day, kaya 365. Okay? So, yan. Paano naman kapag continuously compounding yung given sa problem or infinitely, no? So, meron kasing limit na yung interest may be compounded an infinite number of times per year. So, yung future worth natin will be calculated using the formula present worth times e raised to RT. Okay? Rate times time lang tayo. Okay, so, additional formula to, no? Yan. Then, meron tayong nominal and effective rate. So, ano daw si nominal rate? Si nominal rate is the rate quoted in describing a given variety of compound interest. So, ibig sabihin kung ano yung given na interest sa problem. Yung binanggit na una, na ito yung agreement, nominal rate yon. Then, effective rate is yung actual na interest earn natin in 1 year. Bakit may effective at merong nominal? Kasi, let's say, meron tayong bawa, nangutang tayo ng pera worth 1,000 pesos. No? So, halimbawa, 1,000 pesos, inutang natin with an interest of 6%. Halimbawa. Okay? So, 6%, tapos halimbawa, inutang natin siya, compounded siya. So, compounded quarterly. Okay? So, ang amount natin, 1,000. So, at the end of a year, magkano dapat yung value ng pera natin? Okay? So, F is equals to yung formula natin na sinabi kanina. So, that will be P1 plus R over N P times F. So, dito will be 1,000 times 1 plus yung R natin is 0.06 over 1,000 times 1 plus 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 0.06 over 4 kasi yun yung compounding ano natin. Then for a year, we have 1 year tapos 4 months. Okay? So this will be 1,001 plus 0.06 over 4 raised to 4. So yung amount natin at the end of 1 year, compounded quarterly is 1,061.36. So mula dun sa um, yung mula doon sa principal natin, nag-earn tayo ng 61.36 pesos. Which is ilan yun? Ilan yung equivalent niya in percentage? So, 1,061.36 divide mo ng 1,000, tapos minus mo ng 1. So, yung magiging makukuha mong effective interest rate is 6.14%. Okay? Which is not dun sa 6% na given sa atin. Kaya meron tayong tatawag na effective rate. Okay? Kapag i-compare natin yung future value versus sa principal amount natin, makukuha nating um, percentage is yun nga, different from the nominal rate agreed upon. Kaya meron effective rate, which has the following formula para hindi na tayo malito. Sabi, para makuha yung effective rate ng given compounding year, gagamitin lang natin tong formula to. 1 plus R over M raised to M minus 1. Or kapag compounded continuously siya or kapag ang M natin is infinity, ang formula ng effective rate natin is E raised to R minus 1. Okay? So, next is yung equivalent nominal rates. Nangyayari daw to kapag we have two nominal rates are equal if they have the same effective rate. Yes po. Okay, napindot lang. Okay, so again, two effective rates yung meron tayo. Okay, so two nominal rates are equal if they have the same effective rate. So consider halimbawa, meron tayong interest rate na 10% compounded quarterly. Ano yung magiging equivalent nominal rate natin kapag compounded monthly siya? Okay? So, ayan, shown in the formula using yung diniscuss nating equivalent rate formula for a given compounding year. So dito, yung equivalent rate ng monthly is equals to sa equivalent ng quarterly. Para makuha natin yung equivalent nominal rate na papatong natin dun sa pautang natin para magkameron tayo ng same equivalent rate nung quarterly. Okay? So upon calculation, okay, magka-cancel out yung 1, then simplification na lang naman to. We have reached a value of R na 9.918%. So, ibig sabihin, yung 10% compounded quarterly, equivalent na interest niya in monthly ay 9.918%. Okay? So, yung magiging future value mo for both cases will be the same kasi parehas yung magiging interest niya. Okay? So, let's try sa problems regarding compound interest. So, halimbawa, we have 5,000 for 10 years at 8% compounded quarterly. Okay? So, identify muna natin yung mga compounding years. So, quarterly, M natin is equals to 4. Semi-annually, M natin is 2. Monthly, M natin is 12. And annually, M natin is 1. Okay? So kay quarterly, ang magiging future amount natin is will be using yung formula natin for F is equals to P times I plus R over M, then TM. This will be 5,000. 1 plus yung rate natin na 0.08 over yung M natin na 4. Then yung time natin, 10 years times 4. Okay? So F natin for this particular problem will be 5,000 multiplied 1 plus 0.08 over 4, then raised to 40. Okay, we have 11,040.198 pesos. Ito yung sa quarterly. Sa semi-annually, we have F is equals to, magbabago lang ng value is yung M. So this will be 2. So 10 times 2. So F will be equals to, will be 2. Okay, we have 10,955.616 pesos para sa semi-annually. And then for monthly, we have 5,000 times 1 plus 0.08 divide 12 times 10 times 12. F is equals to 5,000. Tapos gagawin mo lang 12 yung multiplier na M. That will be 11,098.201 pesos. And then last is annually. F is equals to 5,000 times 1 plus 0.08 kasi over 1 naman yung M natin, so no need to indicate yung over 1. Tapos dito 10. Sige, para uniform tayo sa formula. So future value natin will be equals to 1.08 raised to 10. So 10,794.625 pesos. So ito yung mga values natin with varying compounding years. So kung ikaw si nagpapautang, saan ka pabor dito? Kung ikaw nagpapautang. Siyempre, compounded monthly ang gusto mo kung ikaw ang nagpapautang. Okay? Kasi ito yung pinakamalaking amount na pwede mong ma-receive dun sa duration ng 10 years dun sa pautang mo. Ngayon kung ikaw si nagbabayad, gusto mo pinakamaunti yung makuha mong ma-charge sa yung interest o yung bayaran mo interest. So ang pipiliin mo is compounded annually tayo. Okay? So kita nyo yung difference nung binabayaran natin. Kung hindi 5,000 lang yung amount, that will be very significant yung changes na yun. Okay? So kung halimbawa maging 100,000 pinag-uusapan natin, so definitely yung discrepancy between ay monthly compounded interest versus annually compounded interest will be significant, no? So kung kayo tatanungin, maganda compounded annually yung pinautang sa atin para konti lang yung interest na babayaran natin. Okay? Next. Okay, so ba't di na bago yung problem? Okay. Tama pala. Pwede pala to. So a man lends 6,000 at 6% simple interest for 4 years. So at the end of this time, he invests the entire amount at 5% compounded annually for 12 years. How much will he have at the end of the 16 years period? So ano nangyari? Nung unang 4 na taon, yung pera nung mama, ininvest niya sa simple interest lang for 4 years. Okay? So simple interest, ibig sabihin, per year, fix yung income, yung interest rate na natatanggap niya for nung 6,000, which is 6% ng 6,000. Okay? And then after nun, yung total niya, yung ibig sabihin yung maturity value after 4 years, ininvest niya ngayon sa compounding interest annually for 12 years. Okay? So how much will he have at the end of 16 years period or additional 12 years after niyang reinvest yung pera for another 12 years at 5% compounded annually. Okay? So first is kailangan calculate natin yung magiging future value ng pera niya after 4 years muna. No? So yung future value natin after 4 years, using yung formula natin for simple interest is principal interest plus yung I natin. So P times I plus RT, no? So this will be 6,000 times R plus yung rate natin na 6%, tapos yung time natin na 4 years. Okay? So 6,000 1 plus 0.06 times 4, we have 7,440. So ito yung pera niya at the end of 4 years. Itong pera na to, ito yung magiging present value niya dun sa 5th year natin. Or yung present value natin sa ika-4 na taon natin. Okay? Present value natin. Pag i-reinvest na natin siya for compounding account, no? So, doon sa pangalawang condition, pinapahanap is yung future value niya kapag na-reinvest na niya. Pero ang formula natin will be R over M, TM na tayo. So, yung present value dito will be yung 7,440 times 1 plus yung rate niya is 5% pero annually siya. So, 1 tayo dito. Then, for 12 years siya. Okay? So, pag kinalculate natin, 7,440, 1 plus 0.05 raised to 12. So, that will be 13,361.171 pesos. Okay? So, this will be the total amount na kanyang mga gagamit. Okay? After 16 years na nag-invest siya sa simple interest at sa compound interest. Okay? So kung halimbawa naisipan niya dapat nung simula pa lang sa compounded annually na siya pumunta, no? Halimbawa yun yung analysis natin. Magkano yung magiging value niya? So 6,000 1 plus 0.05 tapos gawin natin yung buong 16 years doon niya ininvest sa compounded annually. Okay? So magkano yung magiging pera niya? So that will be 13,097.247. Okay? So, sabihin, effective pa din yung ginawa niya na value kasi at the start of the compounding account niya, mas malaki na yung value ng interest niya. Wait lang ha. 0.05. Okay. Yes. Okay. Kung halimbawa sa simple interest naman niya ininvest lahat, 1 plus RT, that will be 6,000. 1 plus 0.05 times 16. Okay. So that will be 6,000. 1 plus 0.05 times 16. So 10,800 lang yung pera niya kapag simple interest lang lahat. No? Which is masyadong maliit. Kaya sa bangko, huwag kayong papayag ng simple interest yung pera niya. Right? Question?
Answer.
Okay. So, let me check. Okay, next. And another example for compound interest. So a sum of 1,000 pesos is invested now and left for 8 years, at which time the principal is withdrawn. So the interest that has accrued is left for another 8 years. If the effective annual interest rate is 5%, what will be the withdrawal amount at the end of 16th year? So medyo mahaba yung problem natin, no? So check ko lang. So yun nangyari, nag-invest ka ng 1,000 for 8 years. And then yung principal, winidraw niya. So yung 1,000 winidraw. Ang iniwan lang niya is yung principal amount na ang iniwan lang niya is yung interest amount na ipon sa loob ng 8 taon dun sa account niya. Okay? So, wait lang. And then yung naiwan na interest amount is hinayaan lang niyang mag-compound dun sa account niya. So if the effective annual interest rate is 5%, what will be the withdrawal amount at the end of 16th year? Okay? So principal amount natin is 1,000. For 8 years, okay? Tingnan natin yung future value niya at 8 years. Here's the effective annual interest rate. Okay? So, ang effective annual interest rate natin is 5%. Okay? And may formula tayo ni ER is equals to 1 plus R over M. Let's check yung formula natin. Ito. R over M raised to M minus 1. Okay? And then, so, lang nilagay kung ano yung compounding year niya. So, assuming na annually siya, no? So, effective rate natin is 0.05. So, kailangan natin kunin yung nominal rate niya. Okay? Kaya, yan. So, this will be 1.05 equals to 1 plus R. So, R will be equals to 0.05 or 5%. Okay? So, yung future value natin at after 8 years will be so compounding tayo. 1 plus R over M, PM. So, 1,000. 1 plus yung rate natin na 0.05 annually. Then 8 times 1. That will be 1,000 times 1.05 raised to 8. This is 1,477.455. So, ito yung amount after 8 years. Okay? So, minus 1,000 o winidraw natin yung 1,000, ang naiwan sa pera natin ngayon is 477.455 na lang. So, ito yung magre-rate ulit uh, ng 5% sa loob ng another 8 years. So, this will be future value after 16th year. So, 477.455 times 1 plus 0.05 where 1 times 8, 8 times 1. Okay. So, equals to sa times 1 plus 0.05 raised to 8. That is 455 times 1 plus 0.05 raised to 8. That is 705.418 pesos. Okay? So, ito yung mawi-withdraw niya at the end of the 16th year. Okay? Given na ang iniwan lang niya is yung interest amount niya. Okay? Question? Okay? Okay, next is yung annuity na tayo. Okay? So, annuity is a series of uniform payments made at equal intervals of time. So, it is established for the following purposes. First one is as payment of debt by a series of equal payment at equal time interval. So, known as amortization. So, example ito is halimbawa si home credit, no? Or halimbawa, kumuha tayo ng mga 12 months to pay ng mga appliances or gadgets. Okay? Then next is to accumulate a certain amount in the future by depositing equal amounts at equal intervals called sinking fund. So let's say may kailangan tayong i-repair o meron tayong kailangan i-maintenance in 5 years. So para hindi mabigat sa bulsa yung amount na yun in 5 years, gagawin natin, mag-amortize tayo ng amount every year para malaman natin yung magiging value natin o yung makuha natin yung kailangan nating amount at the end of 5 years or n years. Okay? And then last is as a substitute periodic payment for a future lump sum payment. Okay? So, halimbawa, meron kayong makukuhang pera na 5 million at the end of 10 years pero ayaw mo magantay ng 10 years para magkameron ka ng 5 million. So, magkano yung pwede mong makuha kapag gagawin mo siyang yearly yung dating ng pera sa iyo. Okay? So, yan. So, there are 4 types of annuity. We have ordinary annuity, deferred annuity, annuity due, tsaka perpetuity. So, first one, yung ordinary annuity. So, the payment is made at end of each period, starting from the first period. Okay? Ito yung basic definition ng ordinary annuity. Kay deferred annuity naman, the first payment, kaya nga sinabing deferred, is after a certain period. So let's say, yung mga offer halimbawa sa mga sasakyan na bawa first 3 months, wala kang babayaran na down na installment. After nung 3 months, saka ka lang mag-start ng ng installment mo. So deferred annuity 'yon. Then annuity due, kapag payment is made at the beginning of each period. So, halimbawa, kasi simula mo pa lang nung loan, nagbayad, binawasan na agad yung pera mo bago mo matanggap yung pera. So, annuity due yun. Okay? Then, perpetuity, kapag yung payment natin yung payment period natin extend indefinitely or infinity or forever, no? So, perpetuity yung tawag sa kanya. So usually to is sa mga insurances, no? May mga insurances na mga life insurances na hanggang buhay ka, kailangan mo magbayad para if ever may mangyari sa'yo, your family will receive a certain amount na incur mo doon sa perpetuity value na hinulog mo throughout your life. No? So, ito yung general formula for annuity. Okay? So, pag future value pinag-usapan natin, F is equals to A times 1 plus I raised to N minus 1 over I. Wherein yung A natin dito is yung periodic payment natin, yung amortization payment natin. Kaya A yung ginamit na notation sa kanya. And then, kapag present value ng annuity, we have A times 1 minus 1 plus I raised to N over I. Pero may isang formula din si P na pwede natin gamitin. So, mula doon sa formula natin ng compound interest na F is equals to P times 1 plus I raised to N, pwede natin i-represent si P as F is equals to 1 plus I raised to N. Okay? And then yung value ni F, sa substitute natin, that will be 1 plus I raised to N minus 1 all over I. Divide mo ng 1 plus I raised to N. So kung papansin mo, this will be A times 1 plus I raised to N minus 1 over 1 plus I raised to N times I. Okay? And then, kapag inano mo, sinimplify mo to, so dito may nagkulang dito sa formula, no? Dapat ito ay may negative dito. Okay? So, pag i-distribute mo sa bawat form ng term sa taas, nung numerator, magiging siyang A times, yung magiging value nito will be 1 minus I, negative N over I, which is the same nitong formulang to. Okay? So, doon ang galing yan. So, kung halimbawa may given naman na future value, pwede nyo gamitin tong formula na to as substitute for dito sa formulang to. Okay? And then yung I natin is interest rate per payment and N natin is number of payment. Okay? So, example tayo ng annuity. So, ito lang yung aking reference.
Nagla-laptop.
Alin?
Oo.
Sino nagla-laptop?
May klase ako. Ano, kumusta?
Ay, nako. Okay. So, nalimutan mag-mute, no? Okay. Alright, so asan tayo? So, a man is left with an inheritance from his father. So, he has an option to receive 2 million pesos at the end of 10 years. However, he wishes to receive the money at the end of each year for 5 years. So, if interest rate is 8%, how much would he receive every year? So, ganito yung case na nabanggit ko kanina. Ang gusto niya, parang meron siyang mana na 2 million pero 10 years pa niya bago makuha. Eh, medyo atat na yung mama na matanggap yung pera niya. Ayun, pinakompute niya sa bangko. Paano kung halimbawa gagawin sa loob ng 5 taon, ma-receive ko na yung pera. So, syempre si bangko hindi naman papayag na wala siyang benefit o magbibigay na lang siya basta ng pera. Kaya nilagyan niya ng interest rate. So, magkakalta siya ngayon ng 8% doon sa 2 million per year. So, magkano yung magiging amount na matatanggap ni mama para yung 2 million niya is makuha niya in 5 years lang. Okay? So, ano ba yung formula natin? So, meron tayo kanina na formula for present worth ng value ng annuity. Okay? So, ang hindi natin alam is yung periodic payment na ibibigay sa kanya, no? Yun yung hinahanap natin, yung amortization payment. Pero may formula tayo na P is equals to F over 1, ano nga yan? 1 plus I raised to N. Okay? So yung future value natin is yung 2 million. Okay? Gusto natin mahanap yung present value niya kapag in-apply natin yung interest na binibigay ng bangko. Okay? So 1 plus 0.08. So annually naman siya, no? So raised to in 10 years, at the end of 10 years. Okay? So, ano yung magiging value niya? So, yung 2 million na value in the future, kapag 10 years siya kukunin, so meron siyang value na 926,386.9762 pesos per year. No? Yun yung para sa 10 years. Okay? Ito yung para sa 10 years. Yun yung present value dapat niya. Pero gusto niya maging 5 years lang. So, magkano yung matatanggap niya for 5 years? So, yung formula natin for amortization na 1 plus I raised to N minus 1 all over 1 plus I raised to N times yung I natin. Okay? Ang hinahanap natin dito is yung amortization period natin na A. Okay? So, supposedly, ito yung matatanggap niya. So, 926,386.9762 equals to A. So, 1 plus 0.08 raised to 5. Yun yung gusto niya, 5 years lang. All over 1 plus interest rate, 0.8 raised to 5 times yung interest rate natin na 0.08. Okay? So, by calculator na lang. So, yung 926,000, multiply natin 1 plus 0.08 raised to 5 times 0.08. Then, divide natin yung amount by 1 plus 0.08 raised to 5 minus 1. Ay, sorry. Okay. So, 1 plus 1.08 raised to 5.08 divided by 1 plus 0.08 raised to 5 minus 1. Okay. So, yung amortization value will be equals to 232,019.5976. Okay? So, para makuha niya yung pera in 5 years, in 5 years, ito yung matatanggap niyang pera para dun sa mana niya. Okay? So, ito yung equivalent value ng amortization period o amortization payment na matatanggap niya dun sa perang dapat matanggap niya. Okay? So kung kukumpute natin, halimbawa yung 232 na yan, times po ng 5 years. So almost 1.1 M lang yan. Okay? Halos 1.1 M lang, which is lugi ka ng halos 900,000, no? Kung ano, kung nag-antay ka ng 10 years. Okay? Eh dahil pinabilis na yung pag-receive ng pera, so syempre dahil sa interest, naging 232,000 per year yung kanyang pera, and then sa loob ng 5 years, 1.1 lang yung total niya. So lugi siya ng 900,000. Okay? Next, Mr. Jones borrowed 150,000 2 years ago. So the terms of the loans are 10% interest for 10 years with uniform payments. Then he just made the second annual payment. How much principal does he still owe? Okay. So nanghiram siya ng 150,000 2 years ago. The terms is 10% yung rate niya. Interest rate natin is 10%. Ito yung R natin, 10%. Time natin is 10. Yung N is 10. With uniform payments, he just made second annual payment. So nakapagbayad na siya ng dalawa. Okay? So magkano yung present value ngayon nung annual payment niya na dalawa? Ibig sabihin, no? So para makuha natin yung balance pa niya, so sabihin natin yung future payment niya, so magkano ba yung magiging future amount niya after 10 years? Ito dapat yung utang na bayaran niya, no? So meron siyang inutang na using compound interest, P times 1 plus R over M, TM. Ito dapat yung kailangan niyang bayaran. So 150,000, 1 plus yung rate niya na 10% per year. So divide 1, so 10 times 1. 150,000, 1 plus 0.1 raised to 10. So ito dapat yung kailangan niyang bayaran in 10 years. Okay? Ito yung amount, ito yung kailangan niya bayaran in 10 years, pero nagbayad na siya ng dalawang hulog. So, ngayon, magkano yung dalawang hulog na yun? Ano yung equivalent ng dalawang hulog na yun? So, yun yung kailangan i-minus natin dito sa future value na to. Okay? So, kailangan kunin muna natin yung amortization value natin. Okay? So, yung present value natin is equals dun sa amortization times yung 1 plus I is to N minus 1 over 1 plus I raised to N times I. Okay? Para makuha natin yung required na amortization payment niya. So, present value natin is 150,000. A natin is unknown. So 1 plus 0.08. Then for 10 years, minus 1 all over 1 plus 0.08 times 10 times 0.08. Okay? Ano yung magiging amortization natin? So 150,000 times 1 plus 0.08 raised to 10 times 0.08. Teka, saan galing si 0.08? 0.1 pala tayo. Sorry. Okay, this is 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. So 0.1 raised to 10 times 0.1 divided by 1 plus 0.1 raised to 10 minus 1. Okay? So yung amortization dapat niya is 24,000. 411.809. Okay? And then, okay, so, at the end of 10 years with uniform payments, you just made the second annual payment. So, yung balance natin, lang. Okay. How much principal does it still owe? 150,000 minus 24,411.809. 125. Mr. Jones borrowed 150,000 2 years ago. The terms of the loan 10% interest for 10 years with uniform payments. He just made the second annual payment. How much principal does he still owe? So yung balance niya, yung amortization value niya, so in 2 years, kapag halimbawa yung 2 years na binayaran niya, okay? So 150,000, 1 plus 0.1 raised to 2 years lang. So dapat 2 lang to. Okay. So in 2 years, 181,500 yung utang na niya. Okay? After 2 years. Kasi 2 years ago pa yung 150,000. So the term of the loan is 10% interest for 10 years with uniform payments. Okay? Mula doon sa formula natin ng annuity, balikan nga natin. So, okay, for a while lang. F over A. Okay, so okay. So, balik natin dun sa slide. So ito yung amortization. Yung future value natin, future value, amortization, times 1 plus I to N minus 1 all over I. Okay. Na-calculate natin amortization, 24,000.809 times 1 plus 0.1 raised to 2 minus 1.1. So, ito yung naibayad naman niya. Kung ano yung future worth nung kanyang binayad. Okay? Nagbayad na siya ng 2 taon. So, F will be equals to 24,411.809 times 1 plus 0.1 raised to 2 minus 1 all over 0.1. So that is 51,264.7 point 8. Okay. Kulungan ito. Okay. Ayusin ko to. So dito, 2 years ago pa pala yung nautang, no? So erasin natin itong future amount ito. Okay. So, kailangan hanapin natin yung value. Yan. So ito dapat yung bayaran niya after 2 years, no? And then mula doon sa formula ng present value, para makuha yung amortization, dapat ito yung babayaran natin. Eh, for 2 years, nagbayad na siya. So ito yung amount na nabayad niya. So, ibig sabihin ng balance natin will be equals dun sa utang na natin at the start of 2 years. Yung F2 minus yung nabayad na natin na F. So, 181,500 minus yung 51,264.8. Ilan yun? 181,500 minus 51,264.8. That is 130,235.2. Okay? So, sabihin ito pa yung nautang niya. Okay? So, ito yung balance natin. So, mula dun sa na-earn in 2 years, nung utang niyang 150,000, okay, na 10% for 2 years, ito yung amount, 181,000. Pero yung present value natin na 150,000, kapag i-amortize natin siya in 10 years, ito yung kailangan payment natin. So yung payment na yon ginamit natin para mahanap yung value niya after 2 years o 2 years ago dahil nakapagbayad na siya ng dalawang payment. So itong payment na to na binayad niya minus dun sa total na kailangan niyang bayaran. So ito pa yung remaining balance niya. Okay? So medyo malito pero ayun. Okay? Tama ba? The terms to loan 10%. Yes, tama na. Okay? And then another one. So if money is worth 8%, determine the present value of perpetuity of 1,000 payable annually with the first payment due at the end of 5 years. So perpetuity naman yung pinag-uusapan natin. So if money is worth, again yung formula natin for perpetuity is given do sa formula ng perpetuity. I over 8. Okay. So sa perpetuity, ang present worth ng value natin is equals to amortization over I. So yan yung formula niya. So let's say meron tayong sabi if money is worth 8%, determine the present value of a perpetuity of 1,000 payable annually. So kailangan natin ng present worth niya. So yung 1,000 natin na payable ng 8%, okay? Yung magiging value niya will be 12,500. Okay? And then if we want to get the present value, so present value natin will be equals dun sa tawag itong P prime. So P prime all over yung ano natin na 1 plus I raised to n. Okay? So at the end of 5 years, okay, so 12,500 divided by 1 plus 0.08 raised to 5. So yung P natin will be 12,500 over 1 plus 0.08 raised to 5. Okay? So this is 8,507.29. Okay? Payable annually with the first payment due at the end of 5 years. What is determine the present value of the perpetuity, the first payment at the end of 5 years. So, ilagay tayong cash flow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dito pa lang siya mag-start ng payment. So, at the end of 4 years, okay. So, dapat 4 years lang gagamitin natin end. Kasi, with the first payment due at the end of 5 years tayo. So, dito pa siya sa 5 years mag-start yung amortization natin. Okay? Pero yung sa perpetuity natin, yung perpetuity value natin is 12,500. So, kailangan kunin natin yung present value niya after 4 years. Kasi after 4 years, yun yung magiging starting amount niya. So, dapat ito ay raised to 4 lang. At the end of 4 years. So, 12,500, 1 plus 0.08 raised to 4. Okay? So, this should be 9,187.873 pesos. So, this should be our present value for the first payment at the end of 5 years. Okay? Next, we have depreciation. So depreciation refers to the decrease in value of an asset due to the usage of passage of time. So an asset may be depreciated. So an asset may be depreciated physically or functionally. So makita niyo yung graph dito on the right side. Ito yung graph natin for physical property depreciation. So first cost, yung FC natin nandun. Then we have yung salvage value. So yung salvage value is yung value ng material kapag halimbawa after n period of time. So let's say sa cellphone, no? Halimbawa yung first cost niya, halimbawa sabihin natin yung iPhone 13, 100,000 siya ngayon, no? After n years, let's say after 2 years, sabihin natin salvage value niya maging mga 60,000 na lang siya. Okay? So yun yung ibig sabihin niya. So, ibig sabihin, as time goes by, nagde-depreciate yung value niya. Yung D natin dito sa curve na to, yun yung depreciation charge natin. Ibig sabihin yung difference between sa first cost na binili natin siya tsaka yung sa salvage value na pwede siyang ibenta. Okay? And then yung CN is yung economic life natin ng property. CM is anytime before N. So halimbawa, we want to identify what will be the value of our property after M years, no? So ma-identify natin yung value niya, tawagin natin BVM o yung book value niya after M years. Then pwede natin ma-identify din yung depreciation niya at that particular year. So yung total depreciation after M years. So makukuha natin si BVM using dito sa graph FC minus DM para makuha natin itong length na to, no? Kaya meron tayong formula. Okay? And then for methods of computation, we have 5. So yung pinaka madali sa kanya is yung straight line depreciation method. So ito yung most common method used in computing depreciation kasi ang formula lang niya yung first cost minus salvage value tapos divide mo lang kung gaano katagal. So halimbawa in 10 years lang yung buhay ng machine mo. So magkano siya unang binili minus yung after ng ilang years, divide mo lang sa years. Then yung magiging depreciation value natin at M years will be yung value ng D times M lang. Okay? Then sinking fund method. So this is an imaginary fund called sinking fund. Invested yearly at a rate of I to amount to FC minus SB at the end of the life of the property. So yung formula niya is given lang din. So Yung first cost minus salvage value times yung interest over 1 plus interest raised to n minus 1. Then yung DM natin, again sa DM is ito, yung total depreciation value niya after m years. So, D times 1 plus I raised to m. So, small d tsaka si d is the same. No? Minus 1 over I. Then for sum of the years digit method, may additional formula tayo for sum. So, yung sum natin is n over 2 times 1 plus n. Then yung formula natin is as given na dito. So, kung ano lang yung formula, sa-substitute lang yan. Then for declining balance method, we have yung formula for book value after m years na FC times 1 minus K raised to m. So kung papansin nyo, halos familiar siya dun sa compound interest formula, no? Kasi dun lang din siya binase. Okay? Si P is yung first cost, si F is yung book value. So salvage value natin is given as ito. Okay? So, constant percentage, K is equals to 1 minus square root of nth root of SB over FC. And then CDM, again, CDM is yung salvage value natin after M years. Equals to first cost times 1 minus K raised to M minus 1 times K. Okay, si depreciation rate po si K. Then si double declining balance method, we have a formula lang na 2 over n times yung book value natin at the beginning of the year. And then book value natin at m years will be FC times 1 minus 2 over n raised to m, given that this value is greater than do sa salvage value natin. Of course, kasi sa salvage value is yung pinaka sellable amount na lang niya na pwede pa siyang gamitin, no? And then CDM natin will be 2 over n times lang ng BVM natin. Okay? So, lagay na natin agad sa problem para mas madali. So, depreciation. Okay, so first one, what is the value of an asset after 8 years of use if it depreciates from its original value of 120,000 to its salvage value of 3% in 12 years? So, kapag wala namang indicated na procedure, so mas maganda unang i-try mo is yung straight line depreciation method ka lagi. Okay? So, yung basic na, yung number 1 natin. Okay? So, sabi natin ang pinapahanap is yung value niya after 8 years. So, ang M natin is equals to 8. Okay? And salvage value niya is 3%. So, ano yung 3% na yun? So, 3% ng 120,000 times 3% o 0.03. Yun yung magiging salvage value niya. No? So, 3,600. Okay? So, sabihin, yung expected life nung ano natin is 12 years. Okay? Ang pinapahanap is yung value ng asset. So, book value tayo. So, book value is equals to first cost minus yung dapat yung depreciation niya after M years. Okay? Then, paano natin makukuha sa depreciation? Si depreciation, base dun sa formula natin o si D natin, is equals dun sa FC o first cost natin minus salvage value all over number of years natin yung life niya. So we have 120,000 minus yung 3,600 na salvage value. And then N natin is equals to 12. So ito yung magiging depreciation niya per year. Okay, so divide 12. So, ibig sabihin na depreciate siya ng 9,700 pesos per year. Okay? So, para mahanap yung depreciation after 8 years, so, DM natin, value of assets. So, DM natin depreciation after 8 years is 8 times 9,700. That will be 77,600. And then yung book value natin will be yung first cost natin, 120,000 minus yung 77,600 natin. So yung book value natin at the end of 8 years will be equals to 120,000 minus yung 77,600. So magiging siyang 42,400 pesos na lang yung value niya after 8 years. Okay? Next. A man bought an equipment which costs 524,000. Prior and installation expenses cost him 31,000. If the life of the equipment is 15 years, with an estimated value of 120,000, find its book value after 8 years. So almost the same procedure lang. So ngayon, may freight and installation expenses tayo na 31,000. So ibig sabihin on top ng equipment cost natin, kailangan i-add natin yung expenses na yun kasi yun yung nagastos natin. Okay? So yung magiging first cost natin will be yung equipment cost na 524,000 plus yung 31,000 na expenses. Okay? Kasi ito yung total na nagastos natin at the start. So we have 555,000. Okay? Ito yung first cost natin. Ngayon, life of equipment. So meron tayong N is equals to 15. Salvage value of 120,000. So pinapahanap is si book value at 8. So formula lang natin ulit dyan is FC minus yung depreciation value natin after 8 years. So that will be 555,000 minus ang depreciation natin. So 8 years siya, tapos kailangan natin kunin yung depreciation per year. So that is FC. Walay natin para hindi malito. So DM is equals to FC minus SB all over CD all over N. So that will be 555 times 10 to the 3 minus the salvage value natin na 120 times 10 to the 3 over 15 years. So yung depreciation natin per year will be by 15, that is 29,000 per year. Okay, so 29,000 per year. So yun yung times 8 natin. Okay, and then yung book value natin will be just the first value, 555,000 minus 8 times 29,000. So 323,000 pesos. So ito na lang yung magiging value niya after 8 years na mag-depreciate siya. Okay? Then we have, I think, the last problem. An equipment costing 250,000 has an estimated life of 15 years with a book value of 30,000 at the end of the period. Compute the depreciation charge and its book value after 10 years using the declining balance method. Okay? So, first cost natin is 250,000. Okay? Expected life natin is 15. Book value natin is 30,000. Okay? So, pagpabalikan natin yung figure, nasan si book value? Si book value is ayan, somewhere doon sa point natin. Depende doon sa year na hinahanap natin. Okay? So, okay, book value is 30,000 at the end of the period. So, sunod, compute the depreciation charge and its book value after 10 years. So, CM is equals to 10. So, declining balance method yung pinapanap sa atin. So, kunin natin yung depreciation per year. So, that will be, so yung book value at the end of the period, anong ibig sabihin niya? Siya ay salvage value din. So, equals din to sa salvage value. So depreciation per year will be FC minus SB. all over n. That will be 250,000 minus 30,000 over yung 15 years. So yung depreciation natin per year will be equal sa, okay, so 14,666.67 pesos. Okay? And then using declining balance method, tingnan natin yung formula, declining balance. Double declining. Yan, declining balance method. So, yung BVM natin, constant percentage. Equipment costing. Okay, so, ito natin to. So, this is para sa straight line pala to, no? Okay, so, kay declining balance, kailangan kunin natin si K, yung factor natin. So, K natin is equals to 1 minus nth root of salvage value over first cost natin. So, 1 minus, yung N natin is 15. 15th root of 30,000 over yung FC natin is 250,000. So, using calc, ang value natin dito will be 1 minus 15th root of 30,000 over 250,000. That is 0.1318%. Okay? And kapag declining balance method tayo, para tayong gumagamit nung sa compound interest. So, ang book value natin after 10 years will be equal sa first cost natin minus 1 minus yung K natin raised to M natin. So, that will be first cost na 250,000 times 1 minus 0.1318 and yung M natin na hinahanap is 10 years. So, book value natin in 10 years is 250,000. 1 minus answer next to 10. That is 60,822.02. Ito yung book value pero ang hinahanap is depreciation charge. So, depreciation charge natin is equal sa kung ano yung book value niya. Pwede tayo mag-assign ng dalawang book value. So, halimbawa, book value natin na depreciation charge. Okay? Ito sa depreciation charge. Okay? So, pwede nating kunin siya using yung formulang yon. So, that will be FC times yung 1 minus K raised to M minus 1 para makuha yung depreciation, pwede natin kunin yung dalawang depreciation. No? So, depreciation is equals to yung book value niya in 9 years minus yung book value niya in 10 years. Okay, so book value will be FC times 1 minus 0.1318 is to 9. Minus natin yung FC niya o yung na-compute na natin na 60,000. Okay. So FC natin doon, substitute 250,000. 1 minus 0.1318 raised to 9 minus yung 60,000. That is 9,245.02 0.709. So this will be our depreciation charge needed for the problem. Okay? So pinahanap yung depreciation per year o yung isa for yung depreciation niya per year. So kinuha natin yung 2 taon. So yung BB10 na-calculate natin siya kanina. And then para makuha yung depreciation niya per year, kailangan kunin natin yung depreciation niya ng 9th year or 11th year, maalin no sa dalawa. Ayan. Okay. So overtime na pala tayo. So okay. So I think this ends our lecture. So thank you for attending our session. So sorry sa overtime. So thank you and stay safe tayo. Hey, you may go.
Thank you po.
Okay.
Thank you po.
Thank you po.
Thank you po.